Broadcasting live from the mixed-up world of Hyrule, this is the Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. Hello, everybody. We got ourselves started a little late here because of some weird issues, but you know what? Here we are. And today we have match number 2 between Dr. Mardio and Marcnificent. This is the second match between them. Marty took the first one, and it looks like Marcnificent decided to go standard here. So we're going to be doing standard 7-7, defeat Ganon, and there we go. And we've been having a little issue, so let me know if you can hear me. Excellent. Now, so far, it just looks like it's going to be me here. Haven't seen Black Wax around, but we'll see. If Black Wax joins us later, that'll be great. Otherwise, just have to put up with me the whole time. We've got Marty and Mark both heading through the escape section. Mark seems to be doing a pretty good job with the whole movement here. I've seen the lead kind of shift back and forth just in the movement right here. This is one of the better things about standard, is you can see some early execution battles. Alright, so both runners making their way down to Zelda's cell. You still need to find the small key, which could be here. That is one of the things that, you know, is exclusive to standard mode. And there it is. Small key available. It's going to be Mark that picked standard for this, I believe. As Marty apparently won the first match, or first game between these two. Mark seems to be about 3 tiles ahead. Well, actually, the timers are a little off sync, so yeah, maybe I should do something about that. I'm not exactly sure how to do it, but we will try to figure it out. All right. So both runners once again heading into escape. We see a piece of heart in the Dark Cross room. So aside from the fire rod in the first chest, and it does look like there was a bottle acquired as well. Those are the only 2 items of any real significance. Did get some bombs though, so that will allow them to access the final, or the 3 chests here in the back. additional bombs, a piece of heart, and the map for the dungeon. So that does mean there will be something of interest in the Sanctuary. Yeah, don't believe Randomizer is a thing in this. The options available are a little bit limited for this tournament. All right. Both runners heading through. We've got a map check. We had Crystal 1 and 7 at Hera and Eastern, respectively, and I believe it was a blue pendant at Desert. Marty is headed for the tree pull and agate check, rather the lumberjack check, while Mark is heading into Lost Woods directly. Marty finds big old magic from the rupee crab. Oh, that was a little bit off crop for me, so I did not actually get to see it. But we did get a moon pearl inside the Lost Woods hideout. So, moon pearl, of course, very important. Locks up a good half the items in the seed, at least. Alright, so Mark has entered the Kakariko village area. We can get a whole ton of items here, and we can sort of start seeing how this seed's going to open up for us. A hammer, okay, come on, game. Hammer and a glove, right off the bat. Oh my god, is Walther going to join me? Oh man. Anyway. So yeah, a hammer, a glove, and moon pearl, all within just a few seconds of each other. So there's your Dark World access, and it sounds like Walter's joining me here today. Thank you for joining me.
Yo, it's me, Black Wax. That sounds like Walter.
Black Walter, right? I mean, wait.
Okay, so...
Hey, a hookshot in the well is as well. I didn't really mean to do that, but sure. So we've already found the glove, the hammer, the moon pearl, and a hookshot. So, yeah.
Seems like a pretty nice start.
Seems like the seed is basically the most wide open thing I've seen in forever.
Yeah, this is like the moment where you're like, oh, couldn't this used to have been like a standard tournament instead of an open tournament? Somehow, it just feels like this always happens in standard. You just get like a lot of good stuff early on.
I mean, the upside with standard is it actually forces you to do that escape, so it's not really a question of when do I go do escape.
Mm-hmm. Also means you're not gonna forget about the back of escape for like an hour.
I mean, maybe. Unless you don't find bombs, in which case you always forget about the back of escape for like an hour.
I guess that's fair. So, what's the odds of any of these runners going straight into the Dark World without doing South Shore, you think?
I don't know. We might see it. I probably would still go to South Shore just because I'm that guy, but these guys aren't me.
Yeah, I think the responsible thing is probably is to South Shore. But it's less fun.
Yeah, especially now that I've seen that sword on the library, I'm gonna be like, man, I want to find them boots if I can help.
Yeah. Interesting, Mark decided to save and quit when he saw that 300 rupees. Let's see if Marty does the same. Because Mark seems like he's doing stuff. Sure, if he picked up those 300 rupees, he would have had enough money for Sora. Looks like Marty is going to skip it as well.
Yeah, Mark going to the right side of South Shore first might indicate that he plans on going toward Gina's cave first.
Yeah, that's something that's been like kind of popular lately to do. And Marty is just gonna head straight into the Dark World instead.
Oh, we're doing some hype cave.
So we got some diversion happening all of a sudden already.
And there we go. There's our map check. Looked like crystals at Thieves Town, Misery Mire, and Palace of Darkness, red crystals at Turtle Rock and Skull Woods. And then we had pendants at the Flipper Lock dungeons.
Yeah, that's right. We might not actually need the flippers in terms of the logic at all.
We have a lamp in Hype Cave and, well, the flippers.
Oh, man. You know, normally that would probably be kind of hype. But now that we don't need the flippers, man, Hype Cave, why you gotta do this to us?
Yeah, now it's probably just, you know, sitting there making you think, oh man, I gotta go to like swamp or ice for no reason. Hey, and we have a sword at the sunken treasure location. Oh, okay, Mark is gonna go to Hype Cave now. That actually makes a ton of sense given the way. So he's like, okay, I have this access. I'll go to Hype Cave, but I first want to check South Shore.
Yeah.
Because he may intend on sticking around in the Dark World for a little bit. Yes, and it does, in fact, turn out that the green pendant is Swamp Palace. I didn't quite see that before.
Yeah, it's interesting routing from Mark. When you get Dark World access like this early, so you kind of routing a little bit on the fly, because normally you don't really have the opportunity to do this. So with no mirror, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Mark maybe head up to the pyramid and then up to Catfish. So if he had the mirror, maybe it would have been tempted to go the other way around and just head east instead, or west instead. But let's see what he decides to do. He definitely knows now that he well, they both do, that they have one crystal dungeon they can fully complete already.
Yes, this is in fact actually live. I don't know where people got the idea it wasn't, but yep, we're here. We are actually alive, and well, I mean, I guess technically the race is about 20 minutes delayed, but we're commentating it as if it were live.
Yep. It's a weird time to have a race, I guess. But that's the interesting part with having people from all over the world in this tournament. You're gonna have some odd time zones showing up.
All right, so we've got a heart container on the pyramid, which I'm perfectly happy with going to grab at this point. It looks like Marty's going for the Death Mountain climb here, which does seem like the play given the lamp and the hook shot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely not a bad play. You can clear out everything in the light world of Death Mountain at least, and maybe you pick up the myths and you can do a little bit more. You can get a crystal dungeon in Hera, so seems like a pretty legit play.
And as you said, Mark is headed for Catfish, which is our, one of those locations that is otherwise pretty annoying to get to. So if this turns out to be something, that could be a pretty sick.
Yeah, not only will he not like isolate or skip this location, but he will be getting it super early as well.
Right. I think that was just a big 20. Yeah. If it was the cane like I thought it might have been, Marty would have gone for it.
Yeah, for sure. And just a heartbeat on Catfish, so not going to help Mark very much. Probably is going to end up giving him a heart refill when I'm trying to Death Warp later on instead.
All right, Marty headed into the Paradox Cave. We got 7 glorious chests.
This is a real hype cave, right?
Exactly. Big 20 and bombs. Well, it sure is acting like the real hype cave.
Well, we got 5 more chests for redemption here. Got more. Yeah.
Hey, a Master Sword. I'll take it.
That's not bad.
And another bottle.
Okay, maybe a little bit underwhelming, but the sword definitely is a nice pickup.
Marty looked like he was setting up for a bomb jump there, decided, oh, he's gonna do it again.
Yeah, this bomb jump is kind of weird because it gives you a lot of room for like failure, but you don't really think about it that way. So you're like sometimes you just overreach even though you're like super safe just doing it.
Yeah. Whenever I fail it though, I usually just walk out. So we've got a big heart up on the floating island, it looks like. Bombs at the chess game. And Mark is going to head to the south of Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, trying to do all of the overworld checks before heading into Feast Town. Maybe he'll get some extra safety, or maybe best case scenario, he'll get the boots before heading in there. So a lot of opportunities to use the boots in Feast Town, so that would definitely be worth it.
Alright, so Marty in Tower of Hera now has the big key. And is looking to do some Herapot shenanigans.
Yeah, there's really no risk. Yeah, there's no risk really for him doing this. Since he already has the big key, he doesn't really have to worry if there's something in the big chest or not, because he's gonna get it. Like the worst case scenario though is that there's something in the basement, but that would have been like kind of screwing him even if he didn't do the Herapot. So if you feel comfortable doing the Herapot, for sure, that is technically faster than climbing.
Yeah, and you get to do the like old school vanilla get to the big chest there.
Ooh, okay, we got a 50-50 chance of the second item being in the basement. So we got 2 early crystal dungeons gonna be completed by both our runners. But after those 2 are completed, there's no other crystal dungeons open to us at the moment. Oh, never mind. We actually have Skullwoods as an option as well.
Alright, so Marty, that's 1, 2 hits with the hammer. And down he goes.
That was a nice third hit. It looked a little bit scary at first, but definitely got it in.
Is an item in the basement.
This is gonna be a big question if he's gonna leave this or not, because it's gonna be very isolated if Marty decides to leave this. We're not having a mirror. It's very annoying to get back to Hera, so maybe he'll just decide to go back in. No, he's gonna leave it.
Racing right the heck out.
Oh yeah, that's a dangerous play, but hopefully it doesn't gonna come back and bite him.
right, into Spiral Cave. I mean, I certainly can't fault anybody for skipping that one chest.
It's just like you don't have the mirror. You don't even know if the mirror is going to be required. It could be like in Ganon's Tower. So if you're going to have to go back there, like at this point, it's probably going to be your last location if you don't find the mirror.
Just a piece of heart in Spiral Cave, so Marty is gone.
So this is game 2, correct?
Correct. Marty took the first game.
Right. No.
Mark selecting the standard setting for this race.
Oh yeah, right. It was standard, so it had to be the second. Okay, makes a lot of sense.
What's interesting is in this group, the person who's already eliminated was the 1 seed.
Yeah, that was probably I would probably call that the biggest upset of the groups so far at the very least. Ooh, we got a bow in the Maiden's chest. So that's a nice pickup. All of a sudden we got 2 more crystals that we can complete, and I mean honestly, let's see, we're gonna need a lot for Tartarok and Meyer, I suppose. So even though we can complete almost every dungeon at this point, those 2 dungeons alone, they require a lot of items combined.
So speaking of very important items, Mark just picked up the powder in Thieves Town big chest there. So
you can't go wrong with that one.
Alright, so we've got a compass in the first chest there of Skull Woods. So Marty's just gonna fall right in.
Very nice executed blind script from Mark there. Can be a little bit harder when you're using the fighter sword because it's a little bit shorter, so doing a very good job of that. And yeah, Marty heading into Skullwoods first is interesting. I think Mark might have done this as well if he had the Master Sword, but going in with the fighter sword is a little bit more scary. So maybe he'll just like, yeah, I'll do the village first and then head up to Skullwoods afterwards. So they're probably gonna trade places soon. Marty probably gonna head down to Feaston after this, and Mark probably gonna head up to Skullwoods, I would imagine.
I would be tempted at this point if I were Mark to just like start going south around and just go to Pod.
Yeah, Pod and Eastern are probably gonna be on his mind after Skullwoods, I would imagine. He's gonna go to the back. No, I thought he was gonna go to the back first. He's dropping down here. I'm not sure why. I guess he saves a screen transition by doing this? No, because he has to head out anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure. He's gonna head to the back now, though, which is good news for him, because I believe both items are locked by the back of Skullwoods in one way or another. Oh, he's not even gonna check the vanilla bit. Ah, okay, never mind. He changed his mind. Oh, he changed his mind again. Mark, what are you doing? Just do one thing and commit to it.
Alright, so Marty is going into the Moth fight with Master Sword, but only 7 hearts. Mark is going to be going into the Moth fight with Fighter Sword, but 9 hearts. Both of them do have the Fire Rod, so there'll be some amount of damage you can deal with that.
Just gonna start off with some spins here. Got 2 of them in. That I'm not sure if that one counted. It's a little bit
I played too
hard.
much entrance because I mentioned that they have the fire rod.
Yeah. Okay, that was a very well fight from Marty.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a bit hard to get the spins in the later stages of the fight, just because like every time you get, even if your sword just pokes like one of the spikes, you're gonna lose your charge, so it can be pretty hard. Mark doesn't have the master sword, so he just goes for the hammer and got like 3 hits in a row in there. Really nice.
Well done. And Marty is skipping out on the bridge chest entirely.
Okay, I guess maybe he got one of the items then.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Must have missed that. Okay, it looks like the second item is just a red rupee, which is in the front of Skullwoods. Shoutouts to our tracker, Cine, in both in chat and also keeping track of everything that's happening. Shoutouts.
All right, Marty, Dr. Marty, gonna go ahead and check out. Oh, a book on Bumper Ledge.
Bumper Ledge. Yeah, that's well, we don't have to worry about it yet. But if we get that cape, then all of a sudden that could lead to all sorts of shenanigans.
Alright, so Marty gonna go ahead and clear out some of Village of Outcasts that we've seen already. Gonna see Mark headed. Is Mark just gonna skip that chest entirely? Oh,
He
okay.
changed his mind again. Yeah, I think he was like, I probably did this before Moth, right? And then it was like, no, right, I skipped it.
I think he was actually leaving the door in case he gets grabbed.
Oh, that is probably a way smarter idea than what I suggested. But Mark is known to forget stuff sometimes. Once upon a time when we played Cross Keys, he forgot 37 dungeons in the same game, which is probably something possible. But
that's a lot of dungeons.
Yeah, that's what we said. So it's gonna be interesting. I imagine that both of our runners are maybe not straight away, but very soon gonna head over to Eastern and Pod. It's gonna be interesting if any of them tries to do like a cheeky move of heading to Pod first, hoping to get the mirror, so they can combine both of them, or if they just like play it a little bit more safe and just head to Eastern first and then to Pod. I'm not sure.
See, in this scenario, I almost always go Pod first, just because, one, I've just seen the mirror too many times in Pod.
Mm-hmm.
It just likes to be there for some reason.
Yeah. Ironically, they don't want to find the mirror, but at the same time they do. I mean, if it's required, they want to see it as early as possible. But if they could avoid getting the mirror at all, maybe that would not be too bad.
Yeah, I would not be opposed to having no mirror, because Swamp Palace can officially go jump off the bridge.
Or a ledge, as you do.
Yeah.
The jumping off bridges is more about pod thing.
True.
Looks like Mark is gonna head to Eastern first. I guess he gets Sahashala this way, so it's actually more items, if you count it that way, in the Eastern area than in Pod.
We got Quack.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna need. Oh, okay, there's some Mario too. Okay, we're definitely need one of those, and we're definitely gonna need at least one of those medallions. So, Quake could be enough. best case scenario, we're looking for Ice Rod, Flute, and Mitts for go mode at this point. That would be best case scenario now.
Right. We all know best case scenario is not what you usually get.
Yeah. For some reason, that tends to happen. Also, pretty. I wonder how much is gonna weigh on the runner's mind that they got the flipper so early as well.
Yeah.
Like right now, the flippers doesn't unlock very much, so it's just like the waterfall and hobo. But if they find mitts or a mirror, all of a sudden that changes.
I mean, Mark did just now get Zora money, so there's that.
Yeah, I mean, if Eastern and Pod comes out empty-handed, which I mean, it's possible, but if that happens, it wouldn't be surprised that you see them do the flipper stuff right away. It's pretty quick and for your time investment.
Also, just throwing this out there, if I were Mark, I would be grabbing the 90 rupees in the back of Eastern.
Oh, so you can get like
so I'd have more money and Kiki money.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you do have the rupee room in Pod too. I'm guessing both runners are probably doing Pod before.
Yeah, probably.
For Sora. But extra money definitely doesn't hurt. And there's the mirror. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not in Pod. But also,
I
how about that swamp play? Anyone want to go swamp?
No.
You sure?
No. I'm not sure. But I would, knowing me, I'd probably put off swamp to the last possible second.
Yeah, that's a pretty yikes fine there. For Mark, I imagine, I think for sure he's doing Pod after this, but he hasn't been up the mountain yet, so he might just head up there after Pod, to be honest. Marty, however, he's already been up there, so maybe swamp would be something he would be tempted of doing after the Eastern Pod play. Also, Dr. Marley is probably heading to Pod before Eastern, because he could just do this entire South Dark World area into Pod, which it looks like he's doing. Unfortunately, he won't find the mirror in Pod since it's in Eastern, but it doesn't hurt to try, right?
Yep. Oh, we're gonna get some digs. Ooh, bombos.
Okay, I lost count because I'm bad at math, but bombos is nice.
I believe it was 22, 21.
I guess you can't even blame being bad at math. That's just being bad at counting.
Oh, well, there's a bunch of money for Marty on.
And he does seem to quit, though. So maybe he's going Eastern first, too. Or maybe he has something else in his mind. The money might just be enough to put him on the sword path instead.
Alright, 10 arrows for Mark. And Marty is headed east.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that probably makes the most sense.
The sword was in Paradox Cave. Mark will get there eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, then we also have another sword in the library, but none of our runners have boots yet. But if we find boots, that will be a pretty quick and easy tempered upgrade to pick up.
There's a reasonable chance, though, that boots won't be required for the scene, therefore won't show up in any reasonable location.
Yeah. I mean, maybe, hopefully, they can, like, if there's a small key on the torch in Ganon's tower, that technically makes the boost required. So maybe that will, like, force them to find boots.
All right, Mark headed for pod. 5 items there. While Marty will be having good old Eastern time.
Yeah, it's gonna pick up the mirror, probably rethink his life a bit when he realizes what that means, and then just beat Armos. Mark is gonna give us 5 new item locations we have not seen yet, so it's gonna be pretty interesting to see what that holds. Also, the Bombos medallion that Marty picked up. Mark, he might not come back to that one for quite a while at this point, so for Marty's sake, maybe it's required, and for Mark's sake, let's hope it's not, I guess. Depends on who you're sharing for.
I expect Mark will probably wait until he has, say, the Titan's mitts to head over there, or maybe the mirror for some. Or he's got the mirror, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He has the Titan's mitts, and the good news is Bombos is not something you need unless you have the Titan's mitts.
That is fair, and it's also, even if they don't find the Titan's mitts, could be like a play to do after Swamp as well, I guess.
Yeah, you know what? I keep forgetting we don't have the Titan's mitts. They're probably in Swamp. That's just how it goes.
Oh yeah, I remember the good old days when you can always count on mitts being in Swamp.
Yeah, there are only a few items I'm okay with going into Swamp early looking for, and the Titan's mitts are one of them.
I guess oh yeah, we got an early big key. Unless I've been not paying very much attention. Have Mark done the back yet?
Nope.
Did I use the entire back? Okay, good. Okay, so he's just going to the boss first.
Fair enough.
Which, yeah, if you find the big key in the Bullock side, you might as well. Like, you're gonna have to go to the boss anyways. As long as you feel comfortable with the items you have, like, it doesn't really hurt you. He has the mirror, so when he's in the back, as soon as he finds the like remaining items, he can just like mirror out, or well, probably just saving quitting, to be honest, because I'm not sure why he would be mirroring out. There's nothing left to do in this area after this.
Unfortunately, I don't think Moon Pearl on Lake Island is a thing that can happen except in overworld glitches.
Yeah, that sounds.
It could happen in overworld glitches, that's for sure.
Yeah, I gotta have to say, I'm very happy that overworld glitches is not one of the options in this tournament.
I mean, theoretically, you could do like a bunny shuffle walk thing, but it would be really difficult and also not really possible with the whole jumping in the water.
And we got a dead Helmassar giving us a map. So we still have a bunch of items to find.
And no real surprises here. Dr. Martio also going for pod here.
Yeah, we're gonna be like sub 50 minutes, 5 crystal dungeons in for probably both of our runners. Definitely for Marty, and probably for Mark as well if he goes to the mountain after being done here.
Yep.
Which that's a very good pace to be on.
Oh yeah. So we're really looking for those, you know, the flute is blocking us from the you know, Misery Mire area, as well as the Titan's Myths, of course.
Yeah, and then we have that wonky ice rod that everyone loves to find as your go mode item.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite part of Rando, right?
Right. I think this seed is like a very good showcase of like how weird 6 crystal can be sometimes. Because if this was a 6/6, it would have been very different. Like all of a sudden they would have been super close to go mode because they could have skipped either Mire or Tutrock. Since it's standard, all of a sudden we have like multiple items we're gonna have to find.
Maybe 1 pixel lower. There we go, Mark.
Nicely done. Yeah, he unfortunately picked up the wrong bomb when he tried to do it the first time, so he had to like reset it. There's the ice rod. Okay. Now things are looking real spicy.
Alright, now imagine for a moment that the Titan's Myths are in the basement of Hera.
Ooh. I don't want to imagine that right now. I have to.
Half magic for Mark.
Mark trying to open a door without a key. That's not how this game works.
He actually tried to do that with the big key chest as well. We do know that there is an item in there, so we may see him go back for it. It's 50 rupees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in that case, he probably definitely will. This should only... No, this should be an item, right? Yeah. So,
Going back to those 50 rupees.
we talked about best case scenario before. Best case scenario for the runners right now is finding the flute before the myths. Because then all of a sudden, we're at a very good chance of having myths go mode, which is like probably the ideal go mode item you could ever have in a normal like open or standard.
I mean, at that point, they're definitely in swamp, right?
I mean, at that point, I would just die swamp right away for sure.
I mean, yeah.
And with
Nice
having
hammering him for Marty as well.
with having myths being like very high potential being go mode, one of your go mode item, it's either gonna be myths or flute, or well maybe a medallion if we're unlucky. So like with that reasoning, I think it makes even more sense for Mark to just go up the mountain, because sometimes you want to save the mountain until like after you get the Titan's myths. But if you're thinking like, wait, myths might be my go mode, then like all of a sudden delaying the mountain, it's not really, it doesn't have the same appeal all of a sudden.
Alright, so Mark heading up the mountain as we see before. Gonna get that Master Sword in the Paradox Cave. And we'll see if he decides to go for the basement chest.
Yeah, that will be the big question mark if he does that or not. He also has the potential, I think he has a potion And if he does, he could sequence break Spike Cape as well.
He will have a potion by the end of this.
Ah.
Because there's a red potion in Paradox Cave.
He's heading up to Hera first, it looks like, though, so he might actually end his trip on the East Death Mountain, in which case sequence breaking the Spike Cave might not be as appealing.
Oh, it's Red Boomerang.
Red Boomerang, yeah, that's...
I thought it was just a big 20.
The Boomerang with a little bit more value all of a sudden, because you can do the fake flippers with it, but no need to fake flipper today, because we got real flipper.
Yeah, I saw Marty earlier practicing that, I guess before the stream actually went live.
Yeah, when the stream went live, I think we were like...
already in progress, yeah.
Almost a minute in already.
Yeah, they were on the way up to the escape tunnel there. Alright, so Mark gonna grab some piece of heart. And
yeah, we also got Herapod as
do
well.
Some Herapod times.
Yeah, that's a new hot thing to do. I gotta be honest.
I think he was a pixel too far to the left dropping that bomb, actually.
Yeah, I can't really tell. I have not really learned this glitch too well yet. I can only do like the spin speed setup.
Oh, well, it looked like he... Nope, he didn't get it. No, you need to go 1 pixel further right there to drop the bomb. You're gonna be in the wrong subpixel. Oh, never mind, I'm full crap.
But that's one of the interesting part though, because like it's faster to do the Herapod, but if you keep failing
it right, yeah.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you're losing time instead of gaining it. That's 5 crystals for Marty, and Mark is about to pick up his 5th one very soon as well. There's a small key that might lead him down to the basement, maybe not. We'll see soon enough. I also like Dr. Marty's name, because he gets like both Doc and Marty in the same name.
Yeah, great Scott even.
Stop. Looks like we got a swamp play potential coming up here from Marty.
Oh boy.
Oh, he doesn't want to commit to it quite yet. He has one
action.
Yeah, it's kind of isolated at this point, so makes sense to maybe just get it out of the way before heading into the swamp. But with both flippers and mirror not being necessary for Ganon's tower in the seed, getting both of them in basically sphere 1 and 2, I would definitely be super tempted to just be like, yep, swamp, let's go. And I think that's what Marty is doing now after K45.
Alright, so Mark is headed for the basement of Hera.
Yeah, this could pay off big time, and it looks like Marty's actually skipping swamp for a bit longer. He might head up to Pyramid.
Yeah. Because nobody's checked the Lake Hylia Island or any flipper stuff right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he could do like he could check the island and Hobo on his way up here to Pyramid, and then go up to Catfish and mirror there and do like Sora and the waterfall as well. And only bombs in her basement, so that's very good news for Marty.
Alright, so we're getting hobo time.
I wonder if Hera Basement is the one dungeon location people skip the most if you don't count Left Side Swamp. It's just like one of those locations a lot of people they just can't be bothered to do it. It's like, nah, it takes so long.
Yeah, how about Cutscene Room in Mire?
Yeah, that one is definitely up there too.
Thieves Town Big Chest, another good suggestion there from the chat.
Well, yeah, but Thieves Town Big Chest is usually not by choice. It's usually if you don't have hammer, you don't have a choice.
So Mark is going to finish up Paradox Cave. I would be tempted to go back over to the west side and check out Spike Cave myself.
Whoa, Marty's
really avoiding swamp.
Yeah, he's just throwing us off course again here. He's gonna go get another mirror location. And never mind, he changed his mind. Like, oh wait, I don't have the mitts. It's too much job when you don't have the mitts. Yeah, he probably just wanted to get that real quick before going to Catfish. But with not having mitts or boots, it takes quite a while to get in there, and then you have to get all the way out again to get back to Catfish.
Oh, Mark thought about saving and quitting, and now he's leaving.
Oh boy, so he is gonna go for the Spike Cave sequence break. Because there's really nothing else he could do up here right now. Unless, because he did Spider Carrier.
Yep. This is 100% a Spike Cave sequence break.
Oh boy, I like it. I like it. When you're up the mountain, might as well like try and full clear it, because climbing the mountain repeat times more than you have to. It's very time consuming.
Double big 20 in the waterfall ferry.
Yeah, and if there's nothing on the ledge here, surely Marty must be thinking, okay, Swamp's gotta have something at this point, right? It's
Another bottle.
Yeah, we don't need that one.
Yeah, and we saw the other bottle on Lake Hylia Island as well, so...
Yeah, so that's all of our bottles. Speaking of, Mark is using the red potion of his bottle, so he could sequence break this, otherwise he would not have enough health, and now he gets up. 20 rupees is not even enough to cut.
Unless this is a thing. Nope.
Yeah, Swamp looks super reasonable right now. Mark might actually use David right now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Marty do the same.
So we're gonna basically sync up in progress here.
Yeah, Mark took a little bit more time clearing stuff up on Death Mountain than Marta did. And Marta is he heading to Agina's cave?
Agina's cave.
Ooh, okay.
Really doesn't want to do swamp.
Yeah, that's
I mean, he's a man after my own heart. What can I say?
Yeah, I would call this a little bit overkill.
Mark hasn't even done Digging Game or Stumpy yet, so this makes sense for him.
Yeah, he's doing this first. Good news for him in case Bombos is required. Okay, so both players skipped Agina early. So this could actually turn out to be a Galaxy play from Marty if it's something required, but it's just a heart piece. And Yeah. He got like powder, graveyard ledge to do, but other than that, I think it's only swamp, and he's saying no to swamp again.
Yeah, we might see like the magic powder and graveyard ledge check like you were talking about.
Yeah, this is not gonna feel
Bongos is here in the
good.
digging game.
Yeah, this is not gonna feel good for Marty if swamp ends up being required, which looks quite likely it is, because it's 7 items in there since it's a green pendant.
Alright, Mark appears to be walking right, so he's probably headed back to swamp at this point.
I mean, so far the hook shot has not been required for anything, because like the only thing it could have been required for is swamp, I guess, at this point. You got pretty much everything for swamp really early.
Yeah, I mean, they got the mirror kind of late time-wise, but it was actually earlier in the spheres than the flippers were.
Yeah. Oh, is he going? No way.
Wow.
No way. He's not doing Hera basement before swamp, is he? Oh, this is definitely gonna cost Marty.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I hate going to swamp, and I do like to put it off, but at this point, even I would be in swamp.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, silver lining, maybe he keeps doing everything before swamp, and he like picks up something good from graveyard ledge or something.
Could be. Watch the mids just be right here in the very first chest.
Oof. It would not have surprised me, to be honest. So, flute at this point would not open up anything for us. In terms of progression, the big thing is pretty much the mitts. There's a couple of other things that could open up a bit.
Opens up Desert Palace.
Not without the mitts, though.
Oh yeah, I'm a dumb.
But we could find like Cape, which would open up Desert, because that would lead us to the bow.
Right. Yeah.
And it would open up both tablets too. And other than that, it's like fetch quest potential.
This is what happens to my brain at 3 a.m.
Yeah. My brain is not in the best form of its life as well. I stayed up all night because I was like, nice, I can watch this race. I wasn't prepared to commentate it, but I'll do my best.
And what do you bet Marty goes for Spike Cave here?
Yeah, he has to at this point, I think. If you climb all this just for Hera base, man, at least you can get in like a sequence break chest as well. And Mark is gonna go left side first. That's interesting.
Yeah, given the sequence of the items, I think it's less likely that left side has what you want, but not super unlikely. So I wouldn't be opposed to either of these plays. Whether I like to go left side first or not is dependent entirely on when the hook shot was relative to the other items you need for swamp.
I see, and since the hookshot was sphere 1 and flipper is sphere 2.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can imagine both like the flute and the mitts being in the back of swamp, and Mark is gonna feel like super silly when he gets to the back, and it's like, oh, I should have done this first. And Marty is finally saying enough is enough. He's gonna head to swamp as well, so he's not that far behind if swamp is our progression. But he definitely threw away a lot of time doing some like time-consuming one-offs.
All right, left side swamp, moment of truth. 10 arrows. And 10 arrows.
Okay, so here's my theory, right? Marty doesn't seem to like swamp very much, right?
He probably seems
And people who
left
yeah, people who don't like swamp probably don't like left side swamp too, right?
Probably true.
So he might just skip left side swamp, go to the back first, get his progression, and say like, okay, that's enough, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Like I said, in this scenario, I probably would have gone back first, just because of the way the hook shot fell.
The scary part, I guess, is if the progression is on Sahasrara, then all of a sudden you're like standing there with no progression so far and 2 guaranteed items on the left side. A little bit tougher to say no to the left side at that point.
Yeah, that could be a thing. Alright, Mark gonna head to the flooded room.
This is where I usually find my mitts, when I find them in swamp.
We got red mail and a big key.
Mark doesn't go up to check that big chest. He has already done the left side swamp, so it would have been too weird for him to check it. But then at the same time, I guess it's quite likely it could have been just the compass or the map.
Well, not anymore.
Did he find the map?
Seen both.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The map is in the compass chest, so.
Yeah, then I actually would have been too weird to just see him just head up to the big chest before going any further, because at this point it's probably gonna force him to go back in the swamp again.
All right, on to Argus. How many R's does Argus have in it?
2.
The
No.
answer is at least one more than the last time you said. It just gets longer
Wait, what?
every time. So it's R.
I see. I'm gonna try to stop saying his name now. Gonna get some ice rod shots here from Mark on Argus. Ooh, nice quick kill there. That's
A blue
it's not
boomerang.
easy.
And a
Yeah, he
green
got
pendant.
triple hits with the boomer. Not with the boomerang, with the ice rod. So that's a very nice kill.
Marty is skipping left side swamp. He's also going to the big chest first.
Whoa,
Mark
Mark
is
is
skipping
skipping
the
the
big
big chest. No way. That seems wild. Go for left side, but skip the big chest? Really? That's just 10 arrows as well. But is this
Looks like
just 10
Yes,
arrows?
Salazrala.
Oh man. Imagine if it's Graveyard Ledge and Swamp. It's just a major bait this entire scene.
Oh my goodness, that would be awful.
And Marty was so close to checking Graveyard Ledge as well. He was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and he's like, nah, never mind, let's skip it. Because yeah, I think it has to be Sashna or the Graveyard Ledge at this point.
I've never seen someone mirror onto the back of that island.
Me neither. That was my thought exactly.
To be fair, I didn't know that would happen when he mirrored there. I had to see it happen when he did so.
Yeah, I would be. I will feel tempted to say that that's probably the first time that Marcus mirrored there as well. I don't think he knew what was gonna happen. He just tested it out for science.
Right, Mark is going back in the portal, so he might... Oh yeah, he's going to go head up to turn in the green pendant here. He's leaving his portal, so he may decide after this to take it back and head over to Graveyard Ledge if necessary.
That would be a good play, objectively from where we're sitting. I guess it's not objectively anymore at that point.
Bomb
oh man!
Rala.
Oh man!
Swamp is a massive debate.
Marty was so close. He was so close. He's checked everything before Swamp except for one location, and now he has to go back for left side Swamp as well. Man, that hurts. Guess I'm never doubting Bob again. Swamp is just garbage.
Swamp is garbage. Just saying. That being said, Ice Palace has the flute in it.
You know, we find those myths, and all of a sudden, Swamp could have value again, because, you know, Pedestal could be a thing.
Oh, yeah. There is that. Also, I don't know if the flute's in Ice Palace or not. I'm just being that guy. It is so weird, though, that Swamp was a complete debate here. I did not see that one coming.
I would have definitely fallen for that.
Also, Mark has a sick rupee count. Just throwing that out there. What's up, Powers of 2?
Well, not for much longer.
Alright, Mark has save and quit to Sank. I imagine this might be a magic bat check, potentially followed by Graveyard Ledge.
Oh, is he gonna check the Lumberjack as well?
I think he is.
No. Okay, wait, never mind. Did he skip Ice Road Cave earlier?
You know what? I think both runners skipped Ice Road Cave.
Oh no, did they? Okay, well, this is scary for a runner to be like, okay, I got so much progression early on, and I'm now doing this Ice Road location where that most people tend to do early nowadays. And it is... Okay, yes, please.
Again with the debated.
Okay,
yeah, and
Marty's going for it
also
too.
going for Ice Road Cave. So
man.
Both of them checked it. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, it's because they got the Dark World access so early, so they were like, we don't want to be in the Light World anymore.
Yeah. Also, massive props to Mark for realizing that that's the fastest way to get to Ice Road Cave.
Yeah, I've done like the reverse routing sometimes when you want to get to like Kakariko, but I've never thought about going to Ice Road Cave that way. I wonder if it would have been faster to just swim from Link's house though.
I don't know. Marty did check Magic Bat earlier, and Mark is about to do so as well.
Marty's gonna turn in his green pendant and realize that, man, it gotta be Graveyard Ledge, right? And I think Mark is about to find that out as well.
Yeah, and I think at this point, not only does it have to be Graveyard Ledge, but it has to be mitts on Graveyard Ledge. Like, there's nothing else.
Cape could be as
Cape,
well.
You're right. Cape.
Also, potentially boots. I think Marty checked lumberjack, but we never really saw what it was, correct?
Right. Yeah, I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, and Mark never checked it. And oh, Marty seems to
Marty's
not
blanking on
know
the
exactly.
graveyard ledge.
Yeah, because he was like close of checking it before, but then turned back. So maybe in his mind he checked it.
Oh, maybe he thinks you can't get to graveyard ledge without the boots or the mitts, because that is a thing that I used to think was true.
Ooh, okay, that would be very rough if that's the case.
There is a very specific way you can get there without either one.
I would be kind of surprised if like anyone in this tournament didn't know it, to be honest. But I mean, it's definitely a possibility. But it looks like he probably remembered now.
Yeah, it's possible that you just haven't encountered that particular scenario before and never had to look it up.
Yeah, because that's usually how a lot of the more obscure item combinations end up happening. And oh no, Marty is saving quitting again. Where is he going now? He was on the way to the right place.
Speaking of the right place, Mark is headed there right now.
Oh, this is tough for Marty. Like at this point, as a runner, if this happens to you in a tournament, it's like you get like full panic mode. You get like super stressed. You're like, oh my god, what did I skip? What did I skip? He's going back to Hobo. Did he not do Hobo?
No, he did Hobo.
Okay, so Mark is about to find progression here, and it is the mitts.
The Titans mitts.
Oh man, Mark was so close of getting that, like so long ago.
And Mark is heading for the mountain, which makes plenty of sense here.
Yeah, I like this.
There's a really good chance that you could clear out Turtle Rock right now.
And there's also like another 6 items, even if you can't clear it out. 4 of which requires the hookshot, and the hookshot has not been useful at all so far in terms of getting items, at least.
Marty is just going back over places he's already been, once again, not realizing he needs to go to the graveyard ledge.
Yeah, oh man, if that's the thing, if he doesn't know that, that's a deal breaker. I mean, it might be a deal breaker already because he's losing a lot of time right now. But yeah, he's rechecking Sphere 1 locations right now, which pretty much means he is out of ideas.
The reason he wouldn't be able to clear Turtle Rock is if it's the wrong medallion.
And wow, okay, good thing we picked up that bombos from the dig game.
Marty did take the first match, so if Mark wins this match, which seems reasonably likely at this point, then he will tie it up and go to a game 3. That being said, Marty is now headed for the Dark World, which is where he needs to be if he wants to get to Graveyard Ledge. And Mark is just going directly into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, the thing I will say that might be good for Marty in one way is that if he remembers now, he's probably going to feel super behind, right? But he might feel behind enough that he's like, okay, let's use dive ice palace right away. Because if you're that far behind, you want to like do whatever you can to get back again. But he's not heading for Graveyard Ledge. He's going to reshake Skull Woods.
And Mark finds the shovel in the first chest of Turtle Rock. So, Vanilla Flute, anybody?
That would be kind of hilarious. Not gonna lie. It's funny because it's dumb.
That is basically where the hilarity in this entire randomizer comes from, is the dumb parts.
Mm-hmm. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is reviewing your own VOD allowed in this tournament?
Oh yeah, you can definitely go back and review your own VOD. Reviewing someone else's VOD.
Yeah, that's something you definitely should not do. But yeah, I know that that's been allowed in previous tournaments, and you just automatically figure it probably is here as well. So if you're this lost in where's my progression, that is always a thing you could do. You could you speed through your VOD and be like, where did I skip something? But that takes a lot of time too. And you might be stressful enough that you're like, no, I'm gonna find it soon.
All right, Marty's heading east.
Oh yeah, this is good. And if I'm Marty, I'm diving Ice Palace right away. Because there's no way he does not feel behind at this point. Okay.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, you're right.
He doesn't know how to get there.
He doesn't seem to know the way to get there, so... Wow, that's crazy. But if he just keeps trying at this, he's gonna find a combination. He might be... another thing you are allowed to do is check resources for example dark rooms, but also stuff like this. You could be checking how do you get to Graveyard Ledge without the Titan Smiths or boots right now.
Oh no.
It would be allowed, but oh no, he's leaving, so he might actually not think it's possible at all. So
actually, in one of the frequently asked questions documents that's on the randomizer website, I believe, on the main randomizer website, there's a thing saying, I don't have the mitts or something, but it wants me to go to Graveyard Ledge. What's up? And there, it shows you an image of how to make it through. Well, Mark is now headed through Turtle Rock. He's going to head to the back. Still haven't found that flute yet.
Yeah, we haven't really found much of value except for the shovel at all so far. One thing for sure is that after this race, Marty will learn how to get that Graveyard Ledge without mitts or boots and never forget it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the way you learn in Randomizer, but unfortunately this is in a tournament race setting. Normally the stakes are not that high when you have to learn tricks like these.
Alright, Mark making use of basically the free laser skip from falling in the hole there on top.
There's another free laser skip that he actually just did. When he had red mail, you can just body your way through it. It doesn't hurt too much.
Yeah, I think it's like half a heart with red mail or something. Maybe one.
Yeah, I think it's one.
One heart. Yeah, because it's 4 hearts when it's green mail. And Mark successfully making it through our good old block switch room on to Trinet.
Yeah, with Master Sword, you're probably gonna use the hammer instead, because with the hammer it's used 5 hits per head. It deals tempered sword damage. Oh, he kind of messed up the first part here, but he got half magic, he got red mail, so he shouldn't have to worry too much. Nice to still get in that menu before the red head exploded, even though it wasn't really the same like sync it normally is. Because you cannot menu while the bosses are exploding.
I mean, I think it's very possible to get into the tournament without knowing that, because how often do you see a seed where you don't have boots or mitts and need that? You know?
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I just assumed everyone knew that, but if you never encountered it before, or like never seen like a restream or something when that happened, then I guess that's like totally fair.
And everyone has gaps in their knowledge, and there's not really much you can say about it.
I remember the day I learned that you can get King's Tomb without any gloves. That was a tough day.
Alright, Mark is headed now to Hookshot Cave. We got a piece of heart. 50 rupees.
And last one is a bug net. Alright. Got Super Bunny Cave, and if that's not it, I guess we're heading to Ice Palace.
I mean, it is fairly obvious to us that Marty does not know you can actually get there that way, because he has been up to Graveyard Ledge trying to get there and has not actually gotten it. There's our flute.
There's our flute. Potential Gomo incoming.
Yeah.
66.6 recurring forever something Gomo potential here for Mark.
I mean, if you really want to be all technical, it's probably more like 64.5 or something.
Because the big key in Ganasara?
Because the big key in GT, yes.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, Marty has been over to Graveyard Ledge twice, and then moved on. Both of the times he kind of like tried a little bit, so he seems like maybe not sure if he can get it or not. But it definitely, it sucks. It happens, and he's gonna have to like come back strong for Game 3. It's the most likely scenario right now, at least.
Just did the math, it's 63.63, etc.
This is why I'm not a doctor. I just know that it's more than 50%, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, this is a situation where you definitely play like you're in go mode, and if you aren't, you assume the key's under the mat.
And there's
a quit.
Yes, yeah, we're super likely go mode now. He's actually gonna check these two first in case
I
of
don't
maybe
mind this.
or another bow.
Yeah,
Or
bow,
sword.
Boot
Yeah,
to get
there's
a sword.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that he could get now that would like just improve his end game here. It's not gonna have sword beams going in here, which is a little bit annoying, but with half magic, it's not too bad. Just use your fire rod instead. So Mark is now in a 95.5% go mode. I figured that out all by myself. Oh, no. Didn't take any help from the chat or anything.
Alright, Mark into Misery Mire. See how long it takes to find that big key. I imagine Mark will probably head for the boss as soon as he finds the big key.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what his routing is. Oh, there's a cape.
There's that cape, yeah.
Not that it helps us anymore. I mean, it's nice to have in case.
What if like there's a sword and silvers on tablets?
Yeah. I don't think Mark is gonna check even for tablet going into Gannis Tower. He might check it after Gannis Tower if it's boots required, but
well, I mean, he'd have to actually go for the book, so.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's definitely not checking E for tablet. But I mean, just having, if it ends up being Master Sword Civilist, just having temper, or not temper, but a cape to help you through the second phase on Ganon, it's not too bad. With half magic, you can kind of afford to do that if you have a potion or something like that. Got a compass in the first chest here. I'm still gonna go for the cutscene chest. It's kind of like one of the more common things I see, at least, is that if that is not a small key, then it's not like guaranteed that the big key is gonna be vanilla. So like you check that first, and then if it's not a small key, you just like skip the cutscene chest. That's the very last one. But Mark is gonna go ahead and just do it right away.
Alright, so Mark, once again, trying to finish off Misery Mire.
Yeah, not having the best time of his life finding the big key here. And he might be like, we can see that he is pretty firmly in the lead, without a doubt, but he doesn't know that. He might feel behind. He did Swamp Palace for nothing, so he could be stressing out a little bit, because this is let's see, this is the winner bracket, or is this the loser bracket right now?
This is the tiebreaker. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so like this race is actually Mark's tournament life on the line. If he were to lose this one, he would be out, which just amps up the pressure and stress you might feel during a race, especially when you do plays that does not turn out to be the correct one. Because he pretty much last location the mitts, so he might not feel too comfortable at the moment.
So the mitts are at the graveyard ledge, and the flute is in Super Bunny Cave.
So we're gonna see a Master Sword victory is coming up here. This is gonna be the first time we're gonna see this cape come in handy. Actually, we got Master Sword and Half Magic. Gonna get a lot of spin. Oh, he's actually not going for spins. He's going for slashes. I think spins is actually faster, but slashing definitely do the trick as well. Super safe, and then you can.
It makes it where your magic barely goes down at all.
He even managed to get like 2 hits in with the Master Sword on the eye as well, reducing the arrows he needs to hit to like 7, I think, instead of 8. Actually, I'm not sure. Is 2 Master Sword hits enough to take down one of the arrows? I think so. I'm not sure.
The eyeballs? Oh, one
no,
arrow.
on the big one.
No, I think it's like 3.
Okay.
Maybe it's 2.
I think the bot is still broken, but we're about to go to Ganon's Tower because we got like 7 crystals. So if you guys want to guess where the big key is gonna be, you just put a number between 1 and 22. We'll find out shortly. If it's number 3, well, we're gonna have a Mark who's gonna be like maybe a little bit panicking. What do you think it's going to be?
Fair, well, I always go for Bob's chest as my usual guess. So to be fair, the first time I encountered something like that, I didn't realize you could get between those 2 little pillars either, and I needed to look it up. Luckily, it was in the little frequently asked questions or common ways to get stuck.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. If you have never encountered it before, then there would be no reason to learn it.
I actually went and looked up where that particular image is in the guide, so now I have it pulled up. All right, Mark headed into Ganon's Tower.
And I mean, you also gotta give props for Marty to like keep going. He's like, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna keep searching until my opponents finish or I find it.
All right, so Mark gets the big 20 and a small key and decides to go right.
Yeah, that seems to be the most standard way of routing the tower at this point. So he's gonna have 4 chests over here. If it's not over there, he's probably gonna mirror after grabbing a small key and then just go full left. And let's see what we got. We got a red rupee, another red rupee, 10 arrows, and 300 rupees. So that's not good enough. Cannot unlock any doors with that.
Especially not the big one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could try, but it's not gonna end well. And there's just a blue rupee, so Mark is now 100% in go mode. He would definitely like to find silvers or another sword. And I'm pretty sure boots would be appreciated as well. I know for a fact that boots is Mark's favorite item in the game, as it is for a lot of other people who play this game a lot.
Alright, so moving on to the next room, the map room, and the big 20. Marty now exploring the back of Escape, trying to make sure he didn't miss anything there.
Okay, so we got Random Room, Bob's Chest, Ice Armor, and Tide Room left. There's the silvers. That's a great find. You love to see that.
Also,
especially when you're
if I was counting things correctly, that means that there has to be a small key in the tile room.
I see. Well, tough luck if you guys voted for 22. Unless Mark checks tile room all of a sudden for no reason. So Bob's chest looking pretty good here.
Could be.
So normally you would bonk across here. We don't have the boots, so we're just gonna do a bomb jump instead. One of the easier bomb jumps to do, even though it might not look like it, but you have a lot of leeway doing that bomb jump.
There it is.
There it is.
What up?
Okay.
I think that would be 18 if we counted the way people normally would.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone guessed exactly 18. Closest was a 17. Cubivore.
So Mark is gonna storm the upstairs here, and probably gonna check the chest upstairs too, because Tempered Sword would still very much be worth it.
So, what appears to be the case is that Dr. Marty doesn't know that it's possible to get to Graveyard Ledge without the mitts or boots, which is one of those weird scenarios that rarely comes up, and you can certainly have done hundreds of seeds without even knowing this to be the case. So, I mean, I can't really fault anybody for not knowing this. But you can bet 100% that Marty will know this is the case for the rest of his life.
You know, I kind of, in a way, hope that progression will be locked behind Graveyard Ledge like that in Game 3. Just because, like, Marty, he's gonna beeline for it, right? Just get the redemption in. And Mark, having a little bit rough time here on the Molas. Gonna get one hit in 5 tries. And then nails the 2 afterwards.
The experienced NMG players all tell me Landmo is the hardest boss in the game.
Isn't that when they talk about Lambo 1?
Well, yes.
But yeah, it's like when you miss one silver arrow, it's super easy to get off sync because you get lag from the silver arrow, and like you miss the first one, and then you get off pace for the second one, and just spirals out of control really quickly. But also, Mark being so far ahead right now, I think he wouldn't mind if we call him a bit of a dummy as well. Especially me, because I'm friends with Mark, so I'm kind of obligated to do that.
True. I mean, I've occasionally done races with you guys.
Yeah, Mark is one of my teammates in the Linkter Pass League, so... Gets a double fairies and a compass. Also gets the full magic. Kind of almost had full magic, but you want to have as much as possible. I don't think he has anything in his potions. We might have a green one. What was the one in the island? Was it filled with anything?
It was blue.
Well, then he probably has a blue potion then. There's a mushroom. Bet that mushroom turns into a couple of boots.
Could be. Anyway, looks like Mark is gonna head for Aga 2. Then we'll have ourselves a pretty quick Ganon fight, and then we'll be done.
Pretty good setup for at least a double here.
And double is what you get.
Yeah. If you can average a double on Aga 2, that's really good, because that would mean a free cycle, which if you can get a free cycle, you should probably be happy with that every day in a week. Gets a 4th cycle, which is definitely very respectable as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't ever expect a 2 cycle, because I mean you could just get a blue ball and that's over.
Yeah. There's never any guarantees for that.
3 cycle, assuming you have like optimal strats, should be possible no matter what RNG happens. It's just really not all. It's so hard to deal with all the possible.
Yeah,
things that can come out.
the second and the third shot, or the second and the third cycle, the real Aga have a 50-50 chance of shooting a blue ball, which is like you can't, which is why you can't guarantee the 2 cycle.
Mark Getting some pretty good spins in here. Into phase 2.
Switched over to the mirror by mistake for a while there when he tried to hit the cape. Imagine if you could mirror on Ganon and you just like end up at the start again and start again. That would be terrible.
Yeah, that would be terrible. Fortunately, there was an overworld transition before that, so you'd probably just end up like on top of the pyramid, but that's still a little weird.
Yeah.
Or like you just end up in this room with nothing else.
the fight just restarts.
Yeah.
Dude, that might actually be worthwhile if you do a Master Silva that you miss the torch glitch, use mirror, start over the fight. So into phase 3, Mark doing spins, because if you have Master Sword, you have to do spins in order to deal damage, because the minimum damage that affects Ganon is Tempered Sword. And Master Sword spins is effectively tempered damage. Ooh, nice setup here to get a double at least. He's gonna go for a triple, but I don't think he's gonna get there. No, but that's pretty likely he could get a double here too. Yeah, nice double.
Down it goes. Well done.
Yeah, GG's for Mark. It's gonna force this to a game 3 between Dr. Marty and Marcnificent. And I believe that Marty is probably gonna forfeit at this point. I don't actually have the SRL room up, but it looks like he's
yeah, he did in fact forfeit rather shortly after.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's been looking for his progression for quite a while now, but without success. Don't know if we're gonna have any of them in for a interview. Would definitely be interesting to have a talk with them.
I know Marty had to bail out because he's got to go to work, but we might hear from Mark.
I see. Get your GGs in for Marty as well, and make sure to check out game number 3. I don't think it's on the schedule yet.
Yeah, I believe they said they wanted to do basically the same time on Sunday.
I see.
So I think this is set up to where it sends the invite for interviews and stuff right when you hit the button for done. So hopefully we will get a response from Mark, and if not, we'll see. I mean, Marty and Mark were very, very close right up until the point where Marty was unable to figure out the graveyard ledge situation.
Yeah, they were in Swamp Palace at the same time, and at that point, Mark had like a few spots left in the overworld, and Marty basically had nothing except for graveyard edge, which makes a lot more sense why he jumped, like why he did every single thing except for graveyard edge before Swamp Palace, in retrospect.
So it's possible that Mark just had to step away. Give him a minute or so, but otherwise we'll figure out the situation with the whole credits and things. We might be able to see some boots or something like that here in the credits, so keep an eye on some of that. And so after there was a dot done in the chat, after the race was over, I had a short discussion in the IRC chat with Marty, and it looks like he's gonna go do that means of getting to the graveyard ledge for us.
Yeah. Hope he bombs it as well. I mean, there's bombs in there already, right? Definitely earned that much.
So if you want to start running the randomizer, there's plenty of resources on the actual randomizer site, ALTTPR.com. If you want to start running actual Link to the Past normal speedruns, there is a Discord for that as well. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. And there we go. Marty has made his way to the graveyard ledge.
Looks like Mark is in the chat saying he will be in for the interview in just a second. Oh, he didn't even know it was on restream. Okay. Yeah, I sent a very threatening Discord message to him to tell him to join the interview.
All right. Yeah, it's a heart piece in the graveyard ledge. The cape is in King's Tomb, right next to it. Yeah, one time I was hanging out with a bunch of guys at GDQ, and we decided we would all do a 100% run of Vanilla Link to the Past, because none of us had ever tried to speed run 100% before, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of us even knew where all the heart pieces were.
Yeah.
That was a fun experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, that's a good place to do it for sure.
Yeah. To my surprise, I was not last. There we go.
Hey.
Yo, GG's, dude.
Thank you.
I mean, I know it happened in a way that you probably didn't want it to happen, but I mean, you'll take the win, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was talking to Dr. Marty after, and he was, he had told me that he just didn't even know that you could do that, take that route and cut up some bushes in the dark cemetery and get to the graveyard ledge. That's what he was telling me.
Yeah. It's one of those things that if you never run into it in a seed or something like that, it's not very easy to know. Like if you never encounter it, it's hard to know some of these tricks. Like I think everyone encounters that once in a while with like. Same with Graveyard Ledge, or not only Graveyard Ledge, but like King's Tomb or like First Chest in Hookshot Cave, stuff like that.
Like First Chest in Swamp.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just dumb stuff that it's really
you
hard
guys
to...
were really close though, like up until that point. You guys were in Swamp Palace at the same point.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It seemed to be that way. It kind of just kept leading us to all the crystal dungeons that were open, and it was like, okay, yeah, let's just do all these first and maybe checks around that, and then it was just like, okay, well, there's Swamp and all that stuff on the South Shore that I haven't checked, Dark South Shore, and I was like, all right, well, Swamp is here, and I didn't I guess, was Bombos in Swamp?
Bombos was in the game. There was nothing in Swamp.
Bombos
by the way,
debate.
Yeah. Did you realize that you skipped an item in the big chest, by the way?
Yeah, I did. I remembered that there was something there, and I was like, I was hoping it wasn't going to be there. I was like, oh god, are the mitts there? Like, this is going to hurt me so bad if it was there. But it kind of sucks that I did Dark Cack, and then I did Skull Woods, and then I got the mirror in Eastern Palace. I was like, okay, well, there's like that graveyard ledge, that one little check that I'm probably not going to get back to in a while, because it just takes a while to get back there, to go around Light Kakariko and then take the portal and then walk all the way around and So that kind of, it kind of felt pretty bad. Yeah, that's it was really slow.
Like to wait till you have like boots or something before you go over there, so you can combine it with the other two. But boots were nowhere in sight this seed. I'm thinking Ice Palace.
Yeah, or even Trolley, like in Desert Palace somewhere. But where was a blue cane ever found?
It was not.
Because that. Okay, yeah, I was just wondering because I know that there was a book was locked by the cape, but the cape was locked by the blue cane.
I don't think that's a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
Yeah, that's only for one hit
like
KO mode, and the one hit KO mode is not even around anymore.
I see. Okay, then scratch that.
Yeah, same way as you don't need like cape or Berna for laser bridge anymore because of the advanced logic.
I see. Okay. Well, then that's
just
cool,
assumes you can laser skip or take the hits in the face when you got the red mail. There you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I mean that's
my laser skip. I don't know about you.
Hey, skipping the laser, do it any way you want. At the end of the day, you get the chest. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's showbiz, baby. 3? Yeah, game 3. I think we're thinking Sunday. He's got a busy week and weekends, and as do I. I'm traveling back home, so we're probably thinking Sunday during the day Eastern time.
Have you guys discussed, or do you know if Marty has decided for a mode yet?
No, I haven't heard anything from him yet. He had to kind of like he has to go to work because it's morning time for him, so he had to leave, and I guess we'll discuss it later this weekend. But here's hoping for the 6 out of 6 defeat Ganon, hover, dream seed, that I will never get, like it just never happens.
I mean, I don't think you're supposed to. I mean, at this point, you're definitely not getting it because Marty's gonna be like, okay, nope, not doing that one.
So I've determined in the 6/6 seeds, if Swamp Palace is a crystal, the flippers will be in GT like 60% of the time.
Yeah, that's what you like.
Or something.
That's like definitely what I want to think and want to believe, but it just isn't the case. I think in my previous matchups, I assumed like I played one of the matches like I was gonna hover, and so it completely changed my routing, and then I ended up losing. So that maybe that kind of thinking doesn't really work out. I haven't really experienced it that much yet.
Yeah,
I haven't
you're not supposed to make every seed a hover seed. You're supposed to hover the one time it ends up being a hover seed.
That is true. That is true. But one can hope. One can hope. Yeah, I've learned my lesson.
All right. So looks like it's about time to wrap things up. I had a great time. I don't know about you. Anything else you'd like to say?
Other than it being like the slowest seed to get everywhere, I guess it was an okay seed. It wasn't horrible. I would have liked to get an extra sword somewhere, but other than that,
at least you got silvers.
I got silvers. Okay, that made it way easier. So yeah, I had a great time, kinda that seed. But thank you guys for staying up and commentating at this race. That I didn't know was being restreamed. I guess I didn't look at the schedule. So yeah, GG's. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Once again, thank you all for watching. Want to thank our tracker, Icy. Want to thank the Speed Gaming staff for setting this up without, on short notice with a. With a ping out of nowhere. I, of course, want to thank my short notice co-commentator, Walther, for an excellent job. Thank you very much.
Yo, dude, it was fun.
And of
We'll
course,
play.
to our runners,
Oh yes.
thank these people, Marty for being a good sport about it and going for not quitting until the end of the race. It's pretty good, and of course Mark for an excellent seed. Yeah. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I've been Dr. Bobtastic, and I will see you guys later. Anything else you guys want to say? And I'll see you. Bye.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right. Have a good night.